welcome back to my channel. My name is Shana-Kay. Thank you so much for joining me. Now today we are doing something a lot different than we would normally do, and today we are highlighting small businesses. As you know, I am a small business owner, and I thought that I would incorporate this into my channel where I speak to, or just interview and highlight business owners. So before we get into this video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that notification bell, like, subscribe. Also, if you are a small business owner and you'd like to be highlighted, send me a DM on Instagram at SKLiving. I'll put it on the screen for you guys. So if you want to be highlighted on my channel, feel free to send me a DM with your product and service, and we can speak and move forward from there. So today I'm at Smart Moves Physical Therapy, and so today is my very first time getting physical therapy or physiotherapy, because I've been having an issue with my knee. I've spoke about this in a few of my videos before. I had an injury probably maybe about 6 months ago. I'm not sure, maybe longer than that. As you know, Domoniek is a friend of mine, and she has been on my channel a lot actually. I think you guys have seen her a lot. She's not only a foodie, but she is a certified physiotherapist. So because of the issue I've been having my knee, of course I know Domoniek. I did all the things that I need to do in the background, and now I'm here to get my first treatment. So while I'm doing my treatment, I'm going to be interviewing her, talking with her, all of those little nuggets that she might want to use to inspire you guys to start your own business. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Alright, so the first thing that we're doing is she's taking a history. So she wants to know everything that's been going on with my knee, how did everything begin, and all of that. So that's what she's doing right now. So now that we're here, I'm going to be asking my first question. How long have you been a physiotherapist?
Since 2013, that's how many years? 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I left UAE 2012, and then I did a year of internship and practicing in general for 7. Yeah. Shouldn't feel hot, just warm. As well as heat helps the tissues to stretch a bit more.
Okay.
So when it's time to do exercises and stretches and to massage and all of that to loosen up the scar tissue, the heat makes the tissue a bit more malleable.
So how long have you started this practice?
Yeah, this practice is young. It's December. So that way make it 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah, we're in August now. No, 9 months.
9 months.
9 months. So it's relatively new, not yet a year.
What inspired you to start? Like, to just say, screw 9 to 5, I'm done.
I've always wanted to branch out and have my own practice, but for me I was always waiting. Or first it was, alright, let me wait until I get a bit more experience. So I was in the public sector for a long while, going through hospitals and all of that, and then it was, alright, let me wait till I get my doctorate. So I started the doctorate program, which I'm still in, but that's not complete. So I realized that it's always something else, waiting till this, waiting till that. There's never a perfect time.
Never a perfect time.
It was actually one of your videos that I was watching. It was one of your videos that kind of made me say, alright, you know what? Let me just stop wait. I think it was a video where you were talking about you're introducing your business. Remember that video that you did introducing your business?
Yeah. Was it introducing?
Yes.
Or the one about leaving 9 to 5 and...
No, it was like you've started a long time, but you were saying, okay, it's an official introduction.
Okay, official introduction.
Right, and you were talking about, the process and whatever. And I said, well, this is like exactly what, I was going through, and so I decided to just start. And so I started with shopping for equipment before I did anything else, shopping for places, and then everything just came together.
She watched one of my videos and felt inspired.
Kind of just pushed me to just start and stop waiting on the right time, or waiting until I felt like everything was aligned, because no matter what, You know,
There's
never
never
a
a
perfect time.
Yeah. You will find yourself delaying all the time. Next thing you know, you reach 40 and you've always wanted to do that.
Always wanted to do it. So that fear that kept holding me back, that fear of, you know, what if I start and I don't get any patients? What if I start and I can't afford to pay my rent, or I can't afford to pay my bills and all of that? All of that just kept holding me back. And then, you know, I just decided to start it. And then I was just surprised that after starting, you realize that you're capable of way more.
Preach!
Capable of way more. And it took more courage than it did hard work for me. Because yes, it took work to set up and, you know, sleepless nights to fix up the place and paint and all of that. But it took way more courage. Because even after I started and I said, alright, I decided that I'm going to do this. I decided when I'm going to resign. It's like even during the process, you kept having those. And that continuous courage is what made it happen. Yeah. And here we are. And no regrets.
No, because I was just going to ask you, do you have any regrets?
No regrets.
Would you say that it's one of the best decisions you've ever made?
Hands down. Because being in the public sector, it wasn't a situation where I didn't like where I was, or I had an issue with it that I was working with. It was just like, I didn't feel like I was making the impact that I needed to make. Because if you've been to the hospitals, you know that they're overcrowded, overbooked, you know, and as much as as healthcare professionals in that setting, we try our best, you know, to give patients all the care that they need. It's just, it can always be more, you know. And apart from doing the work or trying to get patients all that care that you can offer them with the limited resources, it's almost so like your growth is kind of restricted in one setting, or working in a box where you can only do this, that.
So you don't have enough time.
You don't have enough time. You don't get to see patients or follow up with them. You know, which is very important when it comes down to continuity of care. So that is another thing that kind of made me wanted to get out there and, you know, try and put everything to work.
You had to do a lot of practice, well, hands-on practice in...
Yes, from you're in first year. So in school you have clinicals, right? So every year for the summer, so whenever I get summer, we study all through the year. So in the summer periods, you would be placed in different hospitals across the island, and you'd be graded based on both theory and practicals as well. So you go through, you do practicals in first, second, and 2 practicals in your third year, and then a whole year of internship after that. And then even when you finish and registered, you still have to continue with continuing education to be re-registered for another year.
Was it difficult for you to find a job after you were done?
Yes, at first, but for me, I was always the what next type of person. So when I finished with my internship, I was like, alright, I can't get no job at the hospital, what am I gonna do? So I made my business cards and I started doing home visits. I would go anywhere, and that's taking taxi. I'd go to Clarendon, I used to go to Santa Cruz.
And this is while you were living in Mandeville?
Yeah.
So you come back home from Kingston?
Come back home from Kingston, from UWI at home. And I'd make my business cards and I just got a home mission. So
was it
home
all
business
along?
is what I started out with.
Okay. Was it all along smart moves, or you never come up with a name? You were thinking
there
about
was
that?
no name or anything. It was just, you know, I had the skill set, I had the degree, I had the certification to do it, and the need was out there for persons who needed therapists in the home. And I just went out there and did it. And then after that, no, I went into the hospital.
You know, a lot of people would have waited at home, not do anything at all, just stay at home and say, oh, you know, just waiting on somebody to call me.
When student loan, not waiting on you to pay them. So I had to get out there and do what I needed to do.
So you have that go-getter spirit from day one to say, yo, nothing is going to be handed to you. You have to work for it.
Yep. If I didn't get anything else from my granny, that's what I got.
Yeah. why should people come to your practice?
First of all, I'm the only therapist in Mandeville that offers care for lymphedema and wound patients. Right? So that's a specialty area in physiotherapy that deals with wounds of all kinds, whether it's from your venous ulcers, your surgical wounds, persons with edema from poor circulation, lymphedema, as a result of cancer or whatever else that may cause it. So that's one of the first things. And also, I can't think of any other practice where you have complete follow-up or continuity of care from the hospital setting to the home setting to the outpatient setting. So I'm a therapist at a private hospital as well.
Okay.
And so, say for instance, a patient is admitted, does a surgery, they receive physiotherapy while admitted. That care is continued when they go home, whether it is a patient that needs in-home physiotherapy, and then that also extends to when they can be discharged to outpatients.
Okay.
So there's a full continuity of care with increased frequency too. So there's not a long gap between the sessions, you know?
Yeah. So a lot of times the treatment normally stops in the hospital.
Yeah, it usually stops or tapers off. I mean, you can't really prevent patients from deferring, or some persons will just be non-compliant and just not come back. But when you have a system in place where persons know that, okay, in this first phase I'm doing this second phase I'm doing this, then you have better results and a better outcome.
Yeah.
So this is called kinesiotape, and that's another specialty area that I have where I'm certified to apply this tape.
Okay.
It's a sports tape. You may see it with a lot of athletes when they kick off the shoes. When you're watching Olympics and all of those things, you see them with these colorful tapes.
Yeah.
This tape.
Okay.
So it's breathable for the skin. You can have it on for at least 3 days. Alright, so what the tape does is it helps to support the joints and the ligaments as well as
So I know a lot of people have been having issues, whether they have pain or some form of thing going on, and they might think that they need therapy, as in physiotherapy. What are the steps? What's the first thing you have to do?
a lot of the times patients don't know that they need physiotherapy. Because most patients don't know how extensive our scope of practice is, and that we can basically help with almost any condition that we can think of. So they'll be having an issue. Mostly patients that have pain or a broken leg or those kind of orthopedic injuries will kind of have an idea about what therapists do, but then you have your other patients, like your patients with wounds, your patients with swelling, your patients with asthma, your patients with heart problems. Those patients don't normally know. So usually it's a doctor that refers you to a therapist first.
Yeah.
Because they don't have direct access. Patients can just walk in and be treated. So when you see a doctor and then you take an evaluation and you can determine if therapy is something that can help.
Yeah.
Is better?
Yeah. It's a lot better. It actually feel like I'm at the gym using the hamstring curls, like there's pressure. So you currently offer home patient services?
Yeah. So as I said, we follow straight through from inpatient to home care all the way through to outpatient. So yeah, I do home visits, but it's mainly in the Mandeville area.
What do you have to say to those people who are fearful of like stepping out, using a little faith? What can you tell them to inspire them
Well, you know what I always say on the other side of fear lies freedom. That's like always my little mantra that I tell myself whenever I have any doubts about it. Because it's like as soon as I do it and I see the results of it, I'm like, really? Why were you holding back from doing this in the first place? I mean, that fear of failing is normal. That fear of failing is quite normal. And you're going to have some failures, which is fine. You know, it just builds you up to try again and to do better the next time. And at the end of the day, you won't know if you'll be successful at it unless you try. So just do it, basically.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Hear that?
That's all.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. If it is that the people who are watching right now and they need to make contact, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so the easiest way is to call, right? The number is 409-1957. We're located across from Flow at Leaders Plaza. That's by Nashville. The persons in Mali will know where Nashville is, where the bus park is. We're directly across from the Flow office, and you can't miss it. The big sign is there. And you can also email. And you can Instagram DM us as well.
I know a lot of people who might be curious about the cost in terms of what it costs. Those different body parts carry different costs.
No, and yes and no. So a base fee or a base consultation fee is $3,500. So that's whether you come in for your neck, your back, your knee, your shoulder, your foot, whatever it is $3,500. Where the cost may change now is if you have, say, two body parts. So if you're coming in with a neck issue and a knee issue, then there may be an additional charge of $1,000 in that case. There's also an additional charge for things like the kinesia taping. So the taping the tape isn't easily available here locally, so I'll get it online or from overseas. And that's a different charge, and that's charged per the length of tape. Right, so for application like this that I just did on your knee would be about $2,000 additional to the $3,500. Conditions such as your lymphedema, where you have to do your manual lymphatic drainage and your multi-layer bandaging, those other specialized techniques will be at an increase. Right. So the cost will vary depending on what you may come in for. And then also if you have a wound that I have to dress, then that may change depending on whether or not I have to do some specialized dressings and so on. But base fee is $3,500.
And you do accept major cards?
No, actually, not yet. No.
Not yet.
So not accepting major debit or credit cards as yet.
But health cards?
But for the health card situation or health insurance, we do fill out the claims. So hopefully that's something that should be up and running pretty soon, the health cards and the debit cards. But for now, it's cash. And filling out the claim forms for the insurance companies.
Okay. Thank you so much for this session.
You're welcome.
I kind of feel
you have to ice.
I have to ice
before you go.
So I have one last thing before we go, and that's icing my knee. But I'm so happy that we could have this conversation. Like, it was actually very, very inspiring to me, especially the part where you spoke about taking a taxi to go out and do your business, and that's like number one. Like, anything that you want in life, you have to go after it. It's not going to fall in your lap. None of those things. You have to actually put in the work, and I really, really admire that. So thank you so much for doing this.
No problem. Thank you for coming.
And don't forget to subscribe, you guys. Follow us on Instagram. So thank you guys again. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye. Looks like a